embattled press secretary is seen locked deep in conversation on his phone before emerging altogether happier with a crate of beer and wine for the media at Congressional Picnic. Sean Spicer couldn't be blamed for needing a drink or two after a tumultuous week, but on Thursday night he was the one giving them out to members of the media. This week, the embattled press secretary was tasked with trying to explain away why the White House's daily briefings were now off-camera and without audio. And then there are the rumors his job could be changed by Donald Trump in coming days, with reports suggesting he could be booted from the podium and find himself in another White House role. At the Congressional Picnic on Thursday evening, it appeared at first as though the turmoil was taking its toll. Photographs captured of the 45-year-old showed him away from the fun, sitting on a bench, locked in a private phone call. The polo shirt-wearing press SEC had a concerned look on his face in the pictures in which he was seemingly listening to a voice on the other end of the line, and he appeared tense when he was talking. But shortly afterwards, Spicer was all smiles as he approached the assembled media pack to give out a box full of booze, rather than have a beer himself. The press pen appeared to be off to the side of the party on the White House's south lawn, but the New York native seemed happy to stroll over to offer a few drinks. Photographs from Thursday's event show Spicer with a smile on his face as he handed out beer and wine. Earlier at the traditional event on Thursday, a carousel spun joyfully within sight of the Truman balcony as members of Congress munched on fried chicken and their children watched toy boats float in a pool set up for the day. For one night, the south lawn of the White House was decorated to resemble Central Park, as a tribute to the New Yorkers who now call the executive mansion home. Donald Trump and his wife, Melania, hosted their first congressional picnic Thursday, with the president using the convivial evening to pay tribute to Steve Scalise, hospitalized after being seriously wounded in a shooting last week. Trump also paid tribute to the spirit of unity that was on display the next night at the annual congressional charity baseball game and declared that more of it was needed in a nation's capital so often divided by partisan rancor. It's our hope that the unity that was displayed that evening can maybe continue to grow and thrive between Republicans and Democrats. I think we'd all be doing a lot better and I know the country would be doing a lot better, said Trump in brief remarks to the crowd. Tonight, let us enjoy the comfort of our loved ones and tomorrow let us continue to do the people's bidding and create the optimistic future our citizens so richly deserve. His call for unity, however, was rather incongruent with his tweet just hours before, when he ripped into House and Senate Minority Leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, even derisively nicknaming the latter Crying Chuck. Trump has also blamed congressional Democrats for his legislative woes, even though Republicans control both houses of Congress. The mood on the lawn, which truthfully did not much resemble Manhattan's Green Jewel but was adorned beautifully with strings of lights and spectacular views of the Washington Monument, was a long way from the firestorms so often set off by the president's early morning tweets. Chief of Staff Reince Priebus and Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, were at one moment spotted in an animated conversation, though the two men quickly displayed over-the-top smiles and walked off together once they realized they had been spotted by photographers. Democrats were far outnumbered on the lawn, though a few, including Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, were spotted gliding through crowds of congressional families and aides. Trump did not spend much time mingling, and there was no sign that he was able to personally lobby any of the holdout Republican senators who voiced opposition to the GOP healthcare bill that was introduced hours before. But the president paid tribute to the wonderful tradition that is a picnic and offered kind words for his family's new home and their new neighbors, noting to Laffer that he and his wife have developed friendships with some really great people, mostly